open it up with, it's great to come on the road, get an ACC win versus a really good football team, a well-coached football team. I have a lot of respect for Dave Clawson and the job he's done and the program that he's built over the last 10 years here at Wake Forest. So we knew we were going against a good football team. We knew the things we had to do. We had to play field position. We had to generate some explosives on offense, and the biggest thing was we knew that we had to start generating some negative plays on the defensive front. We had to be able to affect the quarterback, and we had to start flipping the turnover margin. That was something that we take a lot of pride in working on. It had not happened yet for us, and so it was good to see some of those things take place. The turnovers, the negative plays, and sacks generated on the defensive side of the football. Some disappointing things. Obviously the penalties are something that is extremely uncharacteristic, but when you do it, it is characteristic, right? So you're as good as your last game, and that's the mark that you have and that you lead. And that's what we'll be addressing. When we get back and start to put the game to bed and move forward to the next week. But there's a lot of good things to grow on. In the game, I thought we made some improvements in a lot of areas and forced a fumble on special teams, which was good. It's good to get Shanahan back out there and healthy and kicking the ball and be able to help the field position. But then there's, like I said, there's some things we got to address. The penalties are the most concerning of them. We've got to do a better job of being able to consistently run the football. We can't sit back there and have to throw it every single time versus defense. They're a good defense. But we've got to get consistency in the running game, and so we're not becoming a one-dimensional team. And we can put games to bed when we need to put them to bed. Starting with negative field position on offense. When you get a penalty on the first play and you're in a 1st and 20 situation, and those are hard to overcome. And we can't put ourselves in those positions. So it's good to get a win. Excited for the team. Excited for the team to be able to build on the good things and have a win. So it's whether you win a game, whether you lose a game, you've got to address things that are wrong, address things that you have to fix. But it's a heck of a lot better to do it after a win, I'll tell you that. So with that, open for any questions.
Sorry, Jackson.
Both of the touchdowns for the offense come from 30 yards out, and you got some good field position because of a couple of mishaps on their special teams, but weren't able to get touchdowns with some of the red zone possessions. What went into some of maybe the struggles with the offense in the red zone and not being able to put it in the end zone?
Yeah, that's something that when you get in the red area and coverage starts to shrink on you, the windows are tighter. You've got to be able to create some room running the football and doing it, because then your naked, your boot game, some of the action throws that you use down there to affect those tight safeties. If you're not running the ball, those don't become effective at all. So that's the way we've been built down there, and we've got to be able to sustain some of those drives and get them into. We were a lot of long yardage situations, and that's something we've got to really address. And those first down plays, first down, second down, and get out of some of these long third downs we're in.
Kelly.
8 sacks today, a lot of pressure on Griffiths. You guys have struggled with that coming into the game, getting sacks. At least you were getting pressures, but not sacks. How important was it to finally kind of break through for those guys to see that?
Yeah, very important. It's something you can build on. It's you're coaching things. We want to be aggressive. We took an aggressive mindset in some of the situations. A lot of the situations really defensively tonight, and wanted to be able to affect and slow down the mesh run game that they have with the RPOs and throw that off. And it is something we can build on. But now you set that expectation to be able to do that. We've got to consistently do that, and build on it, and be able to do it week in and week out.
Chad.
Was this closer to the complementary football you've been looking for, or at least in the right direction?
Yeah, it was. There was ups and downs on both sides of the football, and you've got to be able to have each other's back. You can't rely on one side of the ball or one unit to be the one that produces. When you do that, it becomes a hard game to play, a hard game to manage, and it's good when you have a negative series, about one side of the ball, another one can answer and get them out of it. And, we had some timely turnovers tonight too. That the defense was able to gain for us and present good field position for the offense, and we've got to be able to capitalize on those things.
Chad?
Only one pass play of 20 yards or more that had to be good to see as well, keeping the explosives relatively limited.
Yeah, we did, but at the same time, there's a lot of things within that we've got to continue to work on, and really you want the biggest friend to a DB is a pass rush, and it helps those guys out. But at the same time, when we're in position, we got to stay in position and be able to make plays on the ball, not the man.
Okay.
How valuable is Haynes' willingness to throw downfield, even when he's not connecting, just testing the defense that way?
Yeah, well, I mean, you're always looking. We've got some guys on the outside that can run, and that we throw it up there, and every throw is not going to be a comfortable throw, and we're going to push it. We're going to try to push it downfield, and we want those 50-50 balls to come out on our side, and we want those to be able to connect in those big plays, and that's what college football is. We've got guys that can be explosive. We've got a quarterback that can deliver the football, and we've got to continue to find ways to be an explosive offense.
Kelly?
I thought, with the corners, there were maybe some questionable PI calls there, and they bounced back. Kenan obviously got the big interception that sort of the game closed for you guys. Can you just talk about how they kind of stayed with it despite the penalties, and then Myles with the tip on the last one?
Yeah, you're playing some of the coverage we were playing based on the pressures that we were bringing. You're going to be in some one-on-one situations there, and you've got to really go back and rely on your technique in those things. And we had some that were timely errors on our part that led to some continued possessions for them in positive field position for them, but at the same time we were able to come up with a couple of those plays and with the aggressive mindset help seal the game for us.
Jackson?
The kicking game's had its share of ups and downs this year, but how good was it to see the consistency of not going 3 for 3 and not having any misses or blocks or anything like that?
Yeah, it's good. Dang, you say it's bad? Holy cow! I'm looking at my Apple Watch during every field goal to make sure it's not like buzzing off like I'm having a blood pressure attack or something. The doctor was like swarming around me. No, that's good. And really, when you look at overall special teams, we've made a lot of positive strides in all the teams. There's things we still got to work on. Obviously, the field goal was something that we've been addressing from the protection and the kicking part. It was good to see see us be able to convert on those tonight. And I think the punt team's doing a nice job of not only the punter but the varying formations that Ricky is creating and giving and creating basically an extended offensive play there to help with the field position. So look like I'll see on tape. It looked like we're about to shoestring away from breaking a big one on a kickoff return early in the game, which was positive to see. And like to be able to get those, but you got a lot of that goes back to the discipline and discipline your fundamentals and discipline in your in your play before, through, and then after the whistle as well.
Okay.
You mentioned addressing the penalties. How do you do that?
Very calm. No. I'll leave that between the walls or the field.
Might have to call your mom, right?
Well, she'll be calling me here in a minute.
Kelly?
You were, I guess, not thrilled with maybe your defense in practice this week, it seemed like, and you seemed like you challenged them. They certainly rose the occasion in the first half and then came up with clutch plays in the second half as well. Just can you kind of talk about seeing that from them, seeing them respond to the coaching piece?
Yeah, I mean, it's, I'm not going to sugarcoat things. When things are not right, I'm going to tell them, and we're going to fix them, because it's not fair to go back and sit there on a Sunday and say, man, I saw that. I knew that was going to happen. I mean, look, there's a lot of uncontrollables in the game as it is, and when something happens in the week and you don't necessarily have a great practice, hey, it was the D-line. It was the D-line, and they didn't practice well on Wednesday. And so I just told them in the locker room, I said, guess we'll have to go to developmental practice every Thursday morning, and they, I don't know if they got a kick out of that or not, but you know, they responded, and that's what you want. You want guys to you know, to listen to what you say, to you know, understand that, hey, look, you know, there's good and there's bad, there's right and there's wrong. There's a right way to do things if you want to win, and you know, we're not going to take shortcuts or make exceptions when it comes to that. You know, the process is what it is, and you know, we're going to stick to the process of what it takes, and it comes with hard work. It comes with hard practice. It comes with preparation and preparing the right way. And when that doesn't take place, we're going to address it and make sure that we do everything we can to get back on track in order to have success on Saturdays.
Anything else for Coach? Got a few more rounds, so.
Yeah, how important was this? Like, you get back to 500 and get an opportunity to play your last non-conference game next week, you know, before the Georgia game, obviously. But like, just in terms of trying to reset things after, you know, 2 tough losses early in the season.
Yeah, you know, it's, again, you know, not to be cliche with everything, but you know, it is one day at a time. It's one game at a time. It's, you know, we treat every game as a season in itself, and you know, that's the biggest challenge when you're dealing with 18 to 22, 23-year-old young men. But you know, it's not just it's coaches as well. It's us, it's adults. And, you know, we all, you want to live either in the past or the future, and you know, be able to, you know, keep the mindset of, you know, staying one play at a time and playing for 60 minutes. That was a big challenge. I mean, look, Wake was a great second half football team this year, and to be able to, you know, challenge them at halftime. Look, you know, it's who's going to be able to play a second half? Can we sustain for, you know, another 30 minutes? You know, that's the challenge. And challenging these position group, individual players, and challenging those guys to do that. You know, the records come. You know, they are what they are, really. And yeah, it's great. It's a lot better to be on one side of it than the other. But you know, we're going to stick true to what we're doing. We're going to stick true to, you know, how we're preparing. We're going to stick true to being truthful with the kids and being truthful with each other, being able to look ourselves in the mirror and self-assess and admit when things aren't right and aren't the right way. And you know, that's the way. That's the only way to build a program and to build it in the right way.
Okay. Thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks, guys.
You guys started out fast. That's maybe not been done on some of these games. Just kind of what was working in the first half for you guys offensively.
I mean, everything. We hit a couple good big plays, like throwing the ball that one to Eric, the one to Abdul, and I mean, shout out to the line. They grinded it out, and first half we were hitting on all cylinders. Wish we probably could have scored touchdowns in the red zone instead of settling for field goals, but I mean, any kind of points are good points right now.
Pretty exciting to see the defense play the way they did tonight.
Oh yeah, we've seen it in practice all day, every day. I mean, shout out to them. They prepared extra hard this week. I mean, just like any other week, they just rally in, and to see those guys have that much success, like their confidence level is really going to be up right now. Shout out to all the defensive coach staff. I mean, they've been working their tail off, and it shows. It shows. The harder you work, and it's all going to show how hard this team's work. Even the players. You know, we knew it was going to be a grind. They're going to be a well-coached football team, and we weren't going to get stuff just easy. So we came in with that mentality, and we grinded it out and came out with well.
Okay.
You've been around a lot of talent, and you've seen talented teams. How good do you think this team is?
As talented as we want to be. I mean, we have potential, but the thing about potential is if you don't put it into effect, how good are you really going to be? Right now, I feel like we've been putting it into effect. All of our potential, our talent, and everything is just kind of finally getting over that hump. Finally getting over that hump where everything's working out right now, and we just need to ride this wave and keep it going.
How hard is it, you know, when they've started to now pick up on Eric and his abilities, does that cause you to maybe have to adjust some things a little bit in terms of just targeting him, or do you feel like you still have a lot of confidence in his ability?
I mean, I still have a lot of confidence. I have a lot of confidence with everybody. I mean, like I said, when this offense is rolling is when I'm finding completions, not forcing the ball, just getting it in the athlete's hands, letting them make plays. I mean, Eric, he's a great player, but he's not the only playmaker we have. I mean, you look at all the receivers. You have Malik, you have Leary, you have Avery. He made a big play on just a short pass, turned in like a 20-yard gain. You know, it's everybody out there. And it's a collective effort. I mean, Abdul, right? He had a touchdown catch early on. It's just everybody. And when we're playing good, like I said, I'm finding completions, dishing out, finding the playmakers, getting them in their hands, and letting them work.
Jackson.
You mentioned some of the red zone issues earlier. Was it more something they were doing on defense, or maybe some things that were going wrong on offense, or what would you say went into that?
I'd probably say a little bit of what they did defensively. They don't give up easy stuff, like I said. And the other thing is us. We can't play behind the sticks. We got to have a good first down play, get ahead of the sticks. It's just harder to play second and long, third and long. You know, now they bring their blitz packages and stuff like that. But like I said, I mean, most of the time when we don't finish a drive into the red zone, it's probably us. We've been stopping ourselves when we don't finish a drive in the red zone. You know, whether it's penalties, MA, missed throw, stuff like that.
Anything more for Haynes? Chad?
Another night with no sacks. How awesome is that for your offensive line? To keep
Oh,
that?
it's wonderful. It's
Especially
wonderful.
for you,
Shout out
man.
to them.
Yeah.
Shout out to them, you know. I mean, defensively, we knew they were going to be real active up front, really active. And that was the main focus this week. And they grinded it out. And we had a couple big runs at the end to close the game out. You know, we don't have no quit up front. And that's what you love to see. I mean, Jordan got hurt early on, and Ja'Kai stepped in. Next guy up. Let's keep rocking and rolling. The standard is the standard. We're not going to waver from that. And love to see those guys play, how tough they are, how strong they are, how much they just grind. It's no quitting them. It means a lot to them, and those are the guys you want to play with.
Kelly.
You know, you don't run a ton, but you had a key run there at the end, and I think it came out of a timeout. Just kind of, was that something that Coach Faulkner or someone saw, and you kind of knew that was a design run there, or?
That long
run,
yeah. It was pretty much kind of like a triple option, you know, read the end. They were bringing the blitz to the boundary, so I was thinking, you know, ride it and dump it to the tight end coming back. Then he peeled with it, and I was like, oh, shoot. So I just squared right there through the hole and made one miss and up the sideline. And I wasn't planning on scoring. And then the dude started swiping at it, trying to make the fumble. So I just held it, tried to get down.
Okay, anything else? All right, Haynes. Thanks, Tom. We have Kenan Johnson and we have Myles Sims. We'll go ahead and open a round for questions for these three. Kelly?
For both y'all corners, obviously it was a tough game with some PIs. They had that long mesh that's difficult for your position in particular to have to cover guys and kind of see what's going on. How satisfying was for both of you guys to have big plays there at the end to close us out?
It was quite rewarding due to the work we put in throughout the week, you know, and the preparation that we've put in to be prepared for times like this. You know, it wasn't unexpected. It was more so expected than anything. We just had to go out there and execute. Feels great.
To pick back up, man, Coach was just telling us that this was a strain game. You know, it wasn't pretty, but like Spider said, man, we got the job done, and you know, it was very satisfying just to see the work that we put in throughout the week come to fruition. It was just, you know, it was a good game.
Chad?
Zeke, Coach said you got on the defensive line pretty hard this week. Tell us about that and that challenge you made to you guys.
Honestly, we just needed to. I feel like we needed to step up, make more plays, negative plays. And I feel like this week we did that. We practiced hard and made sure we kept going, finishing every play, every drive. So I feel like we did a lot better, and we're gonna keep doing that, keep doing what we're doing.
Was there anything schematically different tonight, or was it just more effort?
Just more aggressive, more just get on the ball and just want to attack and get back there. So.
More? Kelly?
See, how did it feel? You guys have been close to getting sacks, but it just wasn't coming to finally kind of see them all just kind of mushroom out in one game.
It just felt like it was time. I'm excited that Cal got like 4 shots, 4, yeah. So excited for them guys. I need to pick up on my end for stats. I need some more, but I'm just excited for them guys. We work as a collective group, the rest of passer. So seeing them guys have success is very exciting.
Can you tell us about the interception there in the fourth quarter that kind of sealed the game?
Yeah, so I mean, it was some calls that didn't go our way, and one thing that my older brother always preached to me is just don't let your highs get too high, don't let your lows get too low. I serve a higher power, and I just ask God to just help guide me through the moment, allow me to continue to play and finish, and that will happen.
Go.
Zeke, I saw you, there were a couple screens and you were down the field making tackles. I think you ended up with 9 tackles in this game, but can you just talk about that? I mean, it doesn't seem like something you would have done a few years ago. Is that just the energy is a little quicker now? Or better?
Honestly, it's just me growing up as a player, and I lost a lot of weight, so I can run sideline to sideline and not be as tired as I used to be. So definitely a big thanks to the strength staff getting that weight down off of me. So I feel good enough to run, and still line up and do my job. So.
Gabe.
For you guys to have that level of 7 sacks, I mean, how, everyone says, oh, you just build off that. But how, from a confidence standpoint, the production, how do you build off that?
Honestly, I feel like we just go back to work and try to keep doing this every week. I feel like this is not really a milestone. We want to get more than that. I feel like we can do that as a D-line. So really just keep building off that, keep practicing how we practicing, coming out fast, just working as a unit and getting to the QB.
Anybody else? Kelly?
Myles, you guys, they have good receivers, and that was obviously a challenge, especially, like I said, with the offense. Just what was it like going against that, like for like a whole game in the rain and all that? I imagine it was a little different than maybe the offenses you're used to facing.
Can you repeat the question?
Sure. Was that different? I mean, the environment, the rain, plus the way they run with that long mesh and all that, was it a little different than other games, the way it kind of unfolded?
Our preparation was what allowed us to be fluent throughout the entire game. Rain, sleet, or snow, it doesn't matter the weather. We'll go out there when it's night, we'll go out there during the day. We love competition. That's what we live for. We compete amongst each other just when it's just our team. So when we get a different opponent, it's just another challenge or just another opportunity to be great, show your God-given abilities and what you've done over the past couple months. So it's nothing too different than what we've seen before. It's just a matter of execution.
Kelly?
Zeke, how many people did you have here today?
Like over 40 of my family members coming today.
What was that like having a big group here today?
Really thankful that they able to just all get out here and support me, that they wouldn't be able to do other games. So having a game close to home like this, I love it, honestly.
Did it make it a little extra special to get the win?
Yeah, definitely. Needed that.
Okay. Anything else? Awesome. Thank you, guys.